¿Qué pasó, way? It's your homeboy Quetzalcoatl. Welcome back to the Fuck Your Life Boxing Show. On today's episode, we're going to talk about the recent fight between Adrien Broner and Paulie Malignaggi. This was a very interesting fight. The fight was much more exciting than how I thought it would play out. While I didn't do a prediction video for this fight on my channel, I did do a collaboration video with the homie TheCartaJays. If you haven't seen any of TheCartaJays vids, I will put a link in the description to his channel. Go ahead and sub to the homie. In that vid, while speaking about the upcoming fight between Broner and Malignaggi, I had Broner winning this fight. Although in the vid I did say that Malignaggi would present some problems to Broner, that this fight would not be as easy as a lot of people were expecting it to be for Broner. A lot of people were saying that Broner would possibly be the first person to knock out Malignaggi. Of course, Malignaggi had been stopped by TKO in the past by Amir Khan and Ricky Hatton, but he had never been knocked out before, and some people were expecting that from Broner. But Paulie Malignaggi actually ended up putting a very good performance. As a matter of fact, this was probably one of his best performances if you take into account what point in his career he's at right now. He's really more out of the door than just getting into this business. From the first half of this fight, you saw Paulie Malignaggi, his activity level was very high. He was throwing punches and bunches. He was showing some very good movement. And you saw the frustration in Adrien Broner in the first half of this fight, in his body language. You know, when Paulie Malignaggi was hitting him to the body a lot, you know, you saw Broner would constantly, you know, keep shaking his head like, no. Like, you know, you're not doing anything to me. But Adrien Broner really wouldn't answer back. You know, he was just shaking his head no. And you could see the further frustration in the illegal stuff he was doing. You know, when he was kneeing Paulie, and the other two times throughout the fight, you know, where he was doing some spinning shit and all that. You know, all of that was out of frustration. In the second half of the fight, Broner started picking up his activity. You saw in this fight, Broner was very accurate. He was very accurate in this fight. He started landing some good shots. Paulie Malignaggi's activity level started dropping after the first half, and the fight actually became much closer. As the fight ended, myself, I had the fight scored for Paulie Malignaggi in a close fight. Of course, Broner ended up getting the nod in this fight. There's a lot of controversy in the decision. While I did have Paulie Malignaggi winning, again, I said this was a close fight. So I'm really not outraged that Broner got the decision. But I do feel that there's a lot of bullshit involved in the third judge's scorecard. The dude that had a huge lead for Broner. And I think that third judge's scorecard really tells what the situation was in this fight. If you had Adrien Broner winning this fight, again, this was a close fight. But regardless, whether you had him winning or not, Adrien Broner got exposed in this fight. He got exposed. This was supposed to be Adrien Broner's big moment. His time to step into the spotlight. To be the next big thing. He's supposed to blow Malignaggi out the fucking water, and that was supposed to build up hype for Adrien Broner to go on to bigger and better things. And that is not what happened in this fight. A lot of people were comparing Broner as being the next Mayweather, and all that shit. That shit got to stop. This dude right here, he's talented. He's got power. He's an exciting fighter to watch. But this dude is nowhere near the level of Floyd Mayweather in any aspect. Not only that, but based on his performance, I don't think that this dude is going to be an elite fighter. I really don't. Now, a lot of people are saying, oh, styles make fights. You know, that's what happened here. And yes, styles do make fights. That is true. But you can only use that as an excuse for so long. This was not the first time that this dude got exposed. You see what I'm saying? This dude had already got exposed by Ponce de Leon and Fernando Quintero. He's already gotten exposed. So it's not about styles make fights. You know, a lot of people are saying, oh, well, you know, this shows that Adrien Broner is going to have a lot of problems against fighters that move a lot and are really good technical fighters. No, it's not just that style, because Ponce de Leon and Paulie Malignaggi do not have the same style. And Ponce de Leon, again, gave a lot of problems to Broner in a fight that I thought Ponce de Leon won. And he got exposed by Fernando Quintero as well. So Broner has been exposed by several different styles. Not just Paulie Malignaggi's. What I don't like is how people are really damage controlling this whole fight. Really trying to salvage Adrien Broner's reputation as far as what his reputation was prior to this fight. Again, with the third judge, the situation right now with Golden Boy and Top Rank, there's this huge rivalry. The way the shit is now, it's like fucking WWF versus WCW. Especially because now that Top Rank is basically exclusive to HBO. You know, all of their fights will be on HBO. And Golden Boy is now exclusive to Showtime. Golden Boy Promotions, being with Showtime right now, Showtime has not consistently brought pay-per-view shows in a while. They're just starting to bring that again. HBO has been doing that since the longest. Showtime did it in the past, and they're just starting to do it now. With the Mayweather fight, while the Mayweather fight did sell over a million pay-per-view sales, it did not generate the numbers that Showtime thought they would. Showtime was a bit disappointed in the way things turned out. And I think that was part of the reason why Floyd Mayweather is fighting Canelo so soon. Because Golden Boy was pressured by Showtime that they're going to have to generate more money in order to compete with HBO, especially the way things are right now. So they put Canelo in with Mayweather. Along with that, all the pressure is on Showtime for the future stars that Golden Boy has, for them to shine like a motherfucker. Because if anything goes wrong, HBO is still the big dog. Now they took a hurting with Golden Boy leaving, because Golden Boy has a very nice roster. But you know, they still got stuff on lock. Showtime is the one that's gonna have to step up. So they can't afford for a big fighter or a potential big fighter to lose at this point. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people are saying that, Broner clearly won this fight because, I mean, you saw what Bernard Hopkins was saying throughout the fight. Now, do I respect Bernard Hopkins' opinion? Of course I do. You know, Bernard Hopkins is a fucking living legend. But what you fail to understand, or what you fail to talk about in your video, is that the capacity in which Bernard Hopkins was speaking in this fight was not as a commentator nor as a boxer. Bernard Hopkins is a Golden Boy employee. He's in the business of boxing as well. Not just for fighting, but as far as the business aspect behind the curtains and all that shit. So it was not in his best interest to say that Broner was getting exposed in this fight, because that shit is going to cost them money down the road. Because Broner was supposed to be the next big thing. That's why Hopkins was saying what he was saying. You see what I'm saying? The problem that I have is, again, with these fanboys trying to damage control this shit. You know, they talk about Broner winning this fight, fine, but you don't mention how he was exposed in this fight. You don't mention the things that Paulie Malignaggi was talking about after the fight. You know, how he was putting Al Heyman on blast, where he was talking about all the politics in boxing. Jim Gray himself was inadvertently admitting to this shit. You know, he was kind of warning Paulie Malignaggi. He was telling him, are you going to bite the hand that feeds you? Then he told him, when he kept on telling him about the corruption in boxing, Jim Gray was like, oh, well, that's the way it is. You know, he was basically warning Malignaggi that the shit you saying is going to get you in problems. I really give a lot of props to Malignaggi for putting his career as a commentator and as a boxer on the line. Because the shit that he was saying, that's the type of shit that'll get you blackballed in this sport. But he was saying a lot of real shit about what's going on in boxing right now as far as the corruption. And see, all the people that had Adrien Broner winning and are just showing mad favoritism, they don't talk about that shit. They don't mention the shit that Paulie was saying. But yet they're unbiased. They want to talk about all these double standards going on and all this shit. But they're doing the same shit they're accusing other people of doing. Rather than admit this, you know what I'm saying? If Broner won, you know what, fuck it. Just admit that this was a horrible performance by Broner. You know what I'm saying? But you're not gonna do that. Motherfuckers gonna team up on videos and defend this shit like they the motherfucking Avengers. Motherfucking Earth's mightiest damage controllers up in this motherfucker. And just spreading motherfucking lies. Dude, when Adrien Broner steps up to the elite level, Paulie Malignaggi was a good fighter. But he's never been an elite fighter. He's been a solid fighter because he's been able to stay relevant for years in boxing. But he's never been an elite class fighter. He was the weakest fighter in this division. And for Adrien Broner to put this type of performance, this lets you know when he fights any of the top guys at 140 and 147, they're gonna dust his ass. Real shit. They're gonna work his motherfucking ass. If he fights Bradley gonna whoop him. Alexander will whoop his ass. Even Pacquiao. A motherfucker. You know I'm not no motherfucking Pactar. I'm the last motherfucker you gonna call Pactar. But Pacquiao will knock Broner the fuck out. I remember Broner talking shit about Marquez, saying he'll beat Marquez, man. Like I said before, Marquez will chop your ass up like fucking Dexter. He has pop in his punch. He will lay your ass out. And let's not even talk about Lucas Matisse. Lucas Matisse got pop. He got pop to lay your ass RIP. But you know what? It is what it is. I just really hope that people keep it real. Motherfuckers, like I said, motherfuckers damage controlling right now. Motherfuckers is delusional right now with the shit they saying. We'll see what the future holds. Let me know your thoughts. How did you score this fight? Regardless of whether you agree with me or not, that's not a problem. You know what I'm saying? Everybody's entitled to their own opinion. I want to hear your thoughts on this fight. If you like this shit, hit the like button. Hit the subscribe button. If you don't, guess what? Fuck you. This is your homeboy Quetzalcoatl signing the fuck on out.